In the light of the newly tamed flame, humanity found a miracle that was beyond anything they had ever encountered. The power to cure any ailment and expand their minds to be on par with the intellect of gods. In this miracle a curse dwelt though, one that would transform men into beasts and lead to the fruition of an age-old prophecy, of men and beasts, of dark and deep. Gods had begun. Humanity had all players deep and challenging, with different is less likely to get me horribly Centuries of dark past, and the dungeons where the Sumerian queen dwelt were all but forgotten. But when prospecting for a new town, an entrance was uncovered, but interloping in the ancient dungeons also prompted communion with a great one, Abritus, daughter of the cosmos, who spurred the quest for the eldritch truth lost long ago. A school dedicated to expanding the perception of man was established at Bergenworth, and the new town was named Yharnam in honor of the old Sumerian queen. Finding that the old queen had carried a child of the Great One, the Bergenworth scholars experimented with her preserved blood to expand their own perception. Naming it the Old Blood, it was found to have powerful healing properties, and soon an establishment grew up around the blood healing, called the Healing Church. In time, the city of Yharnam became a metropolis based on the practice, but there were severe side effects that had been kept from the public, causing a rift in Bergenworth. People who had received blood treatment were becoming ravenous beasts, but the prosperity of Yharnam depended on the blood. Rather than stopping the blood ministration, it was decided that periodic hunts would be carried out to purge the beasts. Gurnam, the first hunter, created powerful weapons and techniques to fight their foes, but the concept of death was still a problem. Who would hunt beasts if the hunters were dead? Using the insight blood ministration had given them, he communed with the Great One, a presence that dwelt in the haze of the moon, and with it he conceived of the hunter's dream, a realm not unlike the nightmare frontier, where consciousness could be stored upon death, to be reborn into the waking world to continue the hunt. But the problem of the scourge only grew worse, and it got to the point where the original district of Yharnam had to be sealed off and burnt to the ground. Still, the blood ministration continued in an effort to elevate humanity to the level of the Great Ones. But all that happened was that the scourge of beasts continued to grow worse, and the hunts became longer, until it resulted in an unending night of hunting that may lead to the ultimate destruction of Yharnam. Blinded by their own aspirations, the Healing Church and Bergenworth did not consider the cause of the scourge that lay in the eternal nightmare. Queen Yharnam, still carrying the celestially conceived Murgo, still tormented by its unborn cries, still perpetuating the curse of the Old Blood. One hunter, though, would uncover the truth, gain insight to comprehend what dwelt beyond the veil of reality, and do what no one else would. By travelling to the nightmare frontier itself, they were able to slay the Great One that watched over Murgo, and finally put Yharnam to rest, purifying the blood and putting an end to the beast scourge. As there always was though, there was more to the hunt than meets the eye. Murgo was not the only child the Great Ones conceived. Upon the beach of a small fishing hamlet lies the corpse of Kos, a fallen Great One bearing a surrogate child. Long ago, hunters had done away with Kos, but had failed to dispatch the orphan. But Kos is not merely any Great One. Even if it was done without awareness, Kos was worshipped long ago by the cleric Aldrich and his deacons who received visions of Kos's realm, the deep sea. They saw a future where the dregs of humanity would sink to the lowest depths of Kos's ocean and breed abhorrent life, resulting in something much darker than the dark soul of man. Rather than consort with a single human like Odin had with Yharnam, Kos had laid with all of the humanity that sunk to her depths, and had been overcome with the power of the resultant orphan. Nevertheless, the hunter slays the terrible creature, and prevents the coming of the age of deep sea. With that, there was only one thing left to do: end the hunter's dream, so that the hunt may truly be over. Gurman, long trapped in the dream and now coerced by the moon presence, would not allow this. The Great One desired the dream and the hunt to continue, Maybe it fed from the hunters passing through the dream. Maybe it gained a perverse pleasure from watching the hunt. But when Gurman was slain, it descended to make this bold hunter the new custodian of the dream. But the hunter had become too powerful, verging on the insight of the Great One themselves, and defeated the moon presence, gaining unfathomable knowledge and attaining what those Bergenworth scholars had so long desired. They had been elevated and reborn as an infant Great One. Through the whole history of time, the world had been watched by the Great Ones, and from unknowing hollows, humanity had advanced itself to attempt to match these creatures, without even necessarily knowing of their existence. And now one human takes the step to become more than they ever were, to transcend the Age of Dark, and like the Thumerians had attempted long ago, commence the Age of the Great Ones. In the end, whether this is the true evolution of humanity is to be seen, but as was shown with the Age of Fire, no matter how you try to stave it off, the next age will eventually come. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe so you'll be the first to know about my future videos. And don't forget, I've got a Patreon and merch store. I think that's about it, so have a great day and I'll see you later.